feasted on the Trailblazers, dropped 36 points to lead the Rockets to their 8th straight win. Nights like these are becoming standard fare for the Beard, almost to the point where we're no longer impressed. Joe Harden's teammate, Russell Westbrook, was and is and continues to be very impressed.
Amazing. I think that a lot of people like to normalize greatness when you see it over and over again, but it's not normal because there's nobody else that could do it. If it was normal, everybody would do it. He's put himself in position to be able to be one of the best offensive scorers of all time because of the way he's able to score the ball at a high level in a variety of different ways. So it's amazing. I'm just here to be able to help him along the way.
Nice to hear from Russ. Nick, has James Harden become underrated?
Absolutely. And Russ's comments were spot on. If it were easy, everyone would do it. Oh, anyone, if they took that number of shots and got that number of free throws, could do. Okay, then someone should go out and do it. They really should, because for James Harden, what it's led to is a league MVP, 3 runner-up finishes. If you add the Adidas money, right around his current contract, past contracts, Adidas money, $500 million in career earnings, and a scoring profile that is going to be matched in NBA history only by Wilt Chamberlain. That is the rarefied air in which he is breathing right now. Harden's he's had a slow start to the season. I think he had 29 and 19 first 2 games. Since then, here's all he's done. 40, 59, 36, 29, 44, 36, 42, 39, 47, 44, 49, and last night a slow night. 36 points per game. And by the way, the Rockets have the 2nd best record in the Western Conference. And by the way, we didn't include assists because it'd be too much numbers. He's top 10 in the NBA in assists and top 5 in true shooting percentage. So he's doing it efficiently. Greg, we've never seen a perimeter player score at this volume in the history of the league. And the only player we've seen score at this volume in the history of the league at any position is a guy who they had to rewrite the record books for, Wilt Chamberlain. And here's why I think he's become underrated. He could average 40 a game this year. And no one, I'm not hearing anyone discuss him as the best player in basketball. People say LeBron still, Giannis. Some folks were erroneously saying Kawhi. Last week, I had a big argument. Is Harden better than Kawhi? It was considered a hot take that Harden's better than Kawhi. Harden been doing this for half a decade. Last year averaged 36. This year looks like he's going to do it again and then some. That, to me, is the definition of an underrated player.
I wouldn't go as far as saying he's been underrated or he is underrated. He's definitely being underappreciated. And if you listen to what Russell Westbrook is saying, we become so enamored with what is his norm. And so James Harden's norm is now averaging almost 40 points a game, putting up 40 points a night. And so the kicker is, if guys in this league could do it, which other guys could do it, but would it equate to winning? And this is what's beneficial for the Houston Rockets, that James Harden produces numbers like this so that his team can win. And I don't think viewers or fans really understand that aspect of things. He's not only doing it because he has to, he's doing it because this is being what's asked of him so that his team could have success and be in contention in the latter parts of the season. So I love what James Harden has done. I think it becomes underappreciated because we start to see it night in and night out, the same way Russell Westbrook has been averaging a triple-double for the last 3 years. Exactly. We get numb to it, and it becomes the norm, and it's like, he did that last night.
But does it take too much out of him when you get to the end of the season? Last year we asked all season, is this sustainable? It turns out it was sustainable for him. Remember, he went on that insane stretch. It seems like he's doing it now, and I know he has Russ next to him, but doesn't this take away from whatever he has left in the postseason when he does this every night?
It might. And last year, obviously, the end of their season was an enormous disappointment to everyone involved in the organization. But last season, if he hadn't done it, they were 14th in the Western Conference, 5th of the way through the year. If he hadn't done it, they wouldn't have gotten to the end of the season. James Harden is doing it because it is what his team requires to be in the position they need to be in at the end of the postseason. Now, the ultimate knock on Harden is, well, you can't win playing this style of basketball. They haven't won a championship playing this style of basketball, but I would like to remind the audience, the first 2 years Kevin Durant was in Golden State, before year 3 when they were decimated by injury, they beat everyone they played in 5 games or less in the playoffs. Not only were the Rockets up 3-2 against them because of Harden before Chris Paul went down with the hamstring injury, in Game 7, they were up 15 points. And at that moment, overwhelming favorites to win the NBA title, and then they missed 27 straight threes. Those were not all Harden. That's just unbelievable bad shooting luck. That's the only reason they haven't won a title this way. It's the only reason. They would have, with respect to LeBron, that was LeBron and the 4-piece-of-paper Cavs team. They were not going to be able to handle those Rockets. So, yes, you can win a title like this. They just haven't won a title like this. And, Greg, if they do win a title at any point with Harden, then he all of a sudden starts to be discussed like Wilt Chamberlain, like one of the 20 greatest players of all time who maybe didn't win as much as people thought he would, but got the ring to go along with the unimpeachable regular season statistical resume.
Jenna, you say, is this sustainable in the playoffs? And the reason why I think that it is because when you've trained to do something and you are now doing it over the course of a season, you have built up your body to endure what he's taking on. Another note, he takes the most free throws in all of the National Basketball Association, which affords him the opportunity to rest.
And he shoots it.
And he shoots it at a high percentage. He's knocked down in 13 odd games, 68 three-point shots. His ability to not only get to the rack, but also rely and take that pressure off his body, that physical toll off his body, because of his ability to shoot the long jump shot, is paramount to why he's going to be able to sustain this level of ability.
Look, it's okay with Russ now. Let's see if Russ is totally fine with it and singing the same song in a couple months. All right, on to the Dallas Cowboys.
Great for him. It's not great for him. He's got a little he's got a little rondo to him, but he's getting it there. Hey, man, a lot of folks go to these NBA practices and try to line up from the NBA three-point range and come 4 feet short.
Yes, it is a drastic difference from shooting a high school or collegiate three-point shot.
What do you mean a lot of? You can just go to a Lakers practice?
A lot of famous people.
Well, that's what's going to get in the way of them focusing on the practice.
Dave Chappelle can do it. Dave Chappelle left his ranch home in, I think, the state of Ohio, outside of Cincinnati, went to L.A., had a nice little weekend. Good for him.
If any famous people want to come watch us work here, you can just
Dave Chappelle, Jenna, you know what you would love about Dave Chappelle?
It's his stand-up.
Okay, sure, but more particularly just to you.
Yeah.
When Dave Chappelle burst onto the scene, very, very skinny guy, skinnier than me, and then became a bit of a workout warrior, bulked up about 40 pounds. It looks like maybe he's not toning the way he once was.
He's trending in a slightly different direction.
I mean, he became his sabbatical after Chappelle's show, became son of a workout freak. I thought it'd be something you do.
It is, and anyone can do it, Nick.
Absolutely.
Spend some time with me.
What?
Time for stories. What? Time for stories to start your morning. Last night, Phillip Rivers struggled taking care of the ball in that loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Rivers throwing 4 picks, adding another one. It was dropped by Tyrann Mathieu. Almost added another one there. Nick, what'd you make of Rivers' performance last night?
He's cooked. In fact, he's overdone. He's the steak that's been left on the grill for far too long. Hey, man, that class of 04 quarterbacks, it's over. And folks in Pittsburgh about to figure out that it's over when Big Ben comes back. Eli's done. Big Ben's elbow popped, and Phillip Rivers is donezo. 7 picks in his last 2 games. Like you mentioned, Jenna, could have had a 5th. Tyrann Mathieu just dropped it. And Phillip Rivers had a really, really good career. He's going to be an interesting Hall of Fame case. But I fear for the Chargers, they're going to try to deny that he's done and trot him back out there next season, which will really delay their ability to become the team they should become, especially once Derwin James comes back.
Yeah, that's my concern. You have to know when to move on, and I get it. Phillip Rivers, statistically, he's always been in the upper echelon of quarterback passers in our National Football League. However, he's always averaged about 13 interceptions per season since he's taken over. over in 2006, and you have to know when to move on. It's time. They have not won with him for 14, 16 years. So you have to move on now. It's okay, guys.
Credit to them, by the way. They didn't give him the contract extension this offseason. So this is the last year of his deal. If they want to move on, they can. I don't know if they will.
All right, after another stellar performance, Lamar Jackson has officially moved past Russell Wilson as the betting favorite for MVP. Lamar has 788 rushing yards on the season, the most by a quarterback through 10 games in the Super Bowl era. Nick, you think Lamar should be the MVP favorite?
Right now, the MVP favorite conversation is this right here. Let me do it. Who you got, heads or tails? Heads is Russ, tails is Lamar Jackson. It's that close. It's as close as it. You know what? Very similar to last year, where at this point in the season, it was a coin flip between Mahomes and Breeze. And then Mahomes continued his excellence. Breeze, the final quarter of the season, fell off. Right now, Lamar and Russell have distinguished themselves above everyone else. I would, if I had a vote, which I don't, right now I'd vote for Russell. But Lamar is trending in such a positive direction. He's a couple more strong weeks from truly overtaking Russell Wilson, at least in my eyes. But right now, Greg, it's a two-person race.